If you build a product your target audience wants, selling it is as simple as explaining to them why it will improve their lives. In the case of the entertainment industry, the only caveat is you need to explain how it will entertain them. In film and TV, this is done through a trailer, and the trailer will answer questions like, why is this a fun way to spend my time? And why is that fun worth the cost of admission? Any product to be financially successful must ensure it makes more money than what it spends to produce. This, boys and girls, is called ROI. In business, for the slow ones, you want a positive one. And that is fundamentally the lesson of a business degree. Our lovable friends at Disney have learned different lessons and worked to metrics that don't connect with keeping the business solvent. Their strategy seems to be to spend vast sums of money they will never get back releasing products their intended audience don't want. Inevitably, these projects fail, but instead of changing how they produce their product, they blame their audience. Their reasoning is, clearly the audience are all bigots for not spending their hard-earned dollars on seeing the movie or watching the show. Well, it appears Disney is evolving this strategy, with the Acolyte skipping the product release. Days before the premiere, the PR team was already pumping out articles through the mainstream press, defending the show and calling their fans sexist. Perhaps an ironic statement, as I don't know if Star Wars still has fans. The Acolyte is a Disney Star Wars show created by Lesley Headland, who stands alone in her favorite moment from the films. It is the wedding of Anakin and Padme in Attack of the Clones. Oh gee, can't wait to see what story she thinks the audience wants. She tells us that she created a show about her life as a married woman who didn't get on well with her sister growing up. Headland and Star Wars overlord Kathleen Kennedy decided that story belongs in this universe. I once did a writer's course. I know, I wasn't a great student. Still, one lesson I do remember was not to write about your family, as everyone has one, and what you find remarkable about the experience is very typical. Thus, it is not a great plot. I'm sorry, Lesley. I think you're about to learn in a very public way no one is interested in your relationships. But it gets worse. To tell her story, she assembled a cast of actors that know very little about Star Wars, and then Disney set them loose on a press tour, seemingly without giving them talking points or at least ensuring they understood the basics of the IP. Naturally, this led to some pretty cringe moments and predictably set the internet on fire, years before the release. Including my favorite moment when this guy says,
The best parts about Star Wars is there is no good or evil. It depends on what side you're standing on, truly. You know what I mean?
Well, that was then. Surely they've learned from their mistakes. Days before the release, and more than a year later, the cast was set loose again, including this guy. To his credit, at least he knows the names of two of the characters now.
Well, Anakin just killed a whole Death Star. How many people died on that?
That was not a mistake. He does it again.
But if you can't look and see the Anakin blowing up the Death Star...
This show will fail, and it deserves to. While previous Disney Star Wars productions were not well received because of terrible stories, their actors always seemed grateful for the opportunity to be involved in the IP. We are now at a new low in the franchise, with the company's employees showing complete disdain for the fans, the business's customers, and apparently with no consequences. I wonder what would happen to the Disney hospitality or retail employee if they conducted themselves in such a manner. I do believe they would be shown the door. If Disney is looking for hate-filled bigots to blame, they need only look in the mirror.
Ooh, that's a chubby baby. Ooh, that's a chubby baby.
Not a great plan.